Welcome to the fastest daf in town. Today we'll masach the Sanhedrin daf Chav Zayin. We are going to begin on the last word on Chav Vav Beis Idmar. Okay, let's continue on Chav Zayin with Aleph. So when it comes to an Eid Zayim, when it comes to plotting witnesses, and they are found to in fact become Eidim Zayim, so Abai Oimro Mafrehu Nifso v'Rebbe Oimro Mikano Habal Nifso. We have this famous machlokas, which is quoted in numerous places, but here as well, that when it comes to an Eid Zayim, do we say that he's possible only from the time of the second group of witnesses that says Imanu Hayisim complaining, there's no way you could have seen this, and therefore we punish the Eid Zayim, but does it not work l'mafreya? So let's say in the interim there was other testimony, so do we passel? So that's the famous machlokas. It goes all the way back. The moment that they testify, they're already a Rosh. That when you're a Rosh, you can't be an aid. So therefore, you were already a Rosh from the time you gave this false testimony. Rabbi Mikano Abahu Nifsol Eidzem Chidishu Maichas the Samachas Sahani Samasahani Enochaboy El Meshas Chidusha Ve'elach. So we know by Eidas HaChasha, the second group contradicts the first group. We say it's Trey, cancel each other out. So that makes sense. By Eidi Hazama, why do we believe the second group more than the first group? So the answer is because there's a cost. The Torah says so. And therefore, because of that, it could only be Mikano Abba from the time of the Chiddush and on. Really, everyone holds like the Shita of Abai that it's Umafreya. Umatam Kaimer Mikano Abba. Why is this in Mikano Abba? Mishum Pseidel Kuchais. Because there's an issue of Pseidel Kuchais, says Rashi. Shalacha Sadus Al Piv. Let's say a person bought fields. The Chasa Mishtara Nisan at Tishrei, and he signed a document from Nisan till Tishrei. V'dain lo hayadu shu apostle, but he didn't realize that this person who signed is apostle. So it becomes a problem with the loss of the lukuchais. So therefore, because of Pseidel lukuchais, we are concerned whether or not it should work on Mafreya or Mekanu Abba. So my binayu, what's the difference? So you can binayu da sehidu beitrei b'chad inami de haslinhu begazonusa. So if the reason is because of a chiddush, that's only if it's 2 against 1, 2 against 2. But trei b'chad, 2 against 1. So in that case, it makes more sense to listen to the second group. So there's no chiddush over there, but there's still an issue of Pseidel Lukuchais. Therefore, we want to say Mekano Abba, but not because of a chiddush, because 2 against 1. Yeah, you decided with the 2. Inami da paslin because of nusa. Or you find that they're thieves. She'idu, says Rashi, shegaz lonim heim al gzer shegaz manisan. We find out that they are gazlonim already from Nisan. Chiddush leka to milsa achrini kamasadi, because they already testified on something else. Of obsidul kuches ika. So maybe possibly else being a gazlan, it should already be they should be pasul lamafreya. However, because on this other testimony. However, because of Pseidel Kuchos, we still won't. The paskin like the Shita of Rava, that he only said Eidim Zayim was Mekano Abba. Mar Ravashi Yermi Hilchas Kavasi Debaye, Hilchas Kavasi Debaye Biyalkigam. Taka the halacha is like Abaye in 6 instances, and therefore this is one of them, which is the ayin in Eid Zayim. So Rashi helps us out and tells us what some of them, where they all are. One is the famous Gemara in Bava Metzia, Yishol Madas Bel Metzias. If a person lost hope but he didn't know about it, whether or not that's Havi Yish. Eid Zayim, which is Hacha. Lechi Oymin Me'elav, which is in the first parak in Erevin. If you have a Lechi that's standing by itself, and as you didn't put it there, does that count as a lechi to be able to carry an amavoy? Kedushin shonim sulabiyah. So in the beginning of the second parak, somewhat in the beginning of the second parak in Masechtas Kedushin, that if you're dealing with a person who's not shaykh tabiyah, is it a good kedushin, like being mekadesh two sisters, for example. Giloi das begitin, and then the case over here, which we're going to see again, was actually a quote in Masechtas Gittin, Murmur Oich Nevelos L'Hachas L'Kamon. Okay. So Murmur Oich Nevelos and Murmur Oich L'Hachas. So let's see this. Murmur Oich Nevelos L'Teyavin. So you have a person who ate something which is not kosher. He goes to McDonald's and pounds Big Macs. L'Teyavin. Because it's cheaper. Diriyako Apostle. Because in that situation, says Rashi, Kimandi Mishom Mamoin, he's concerned about money, saving money. So McDonald's is cheaper meat, so it's for financial reasons, and therefore this is a person who we're concerned that because he has a desire to save money, so therefore money is very important to him, and therefore we don't want someone like that as a judge or as an aide. Lahachis, Abaye Omer Pasor, Rabbi Omer Kosher. Abaye Omer Puzzle, if he's just like, it's the same price, but he's like a hachas, I don't care, I'm going to eat non-kosher, it doesn't taste any different, it doesn't cost any more or less. So interestingly enough, in there it's a machlokos. Why? So by Yomer Puzzle, the Hamli Rosh, that someone who's a Rosh can't be an aid. And if you're eating non-kosher lahachas, so then certainly that's you're a Rosh. Rabbi Omer Kosher, Rosh the Chamas being done. Even though maybe he does things wrong, the issue has to be tied to theft, and therefore this is not a financial reason. He's doing it for some other emotional reason. He's lahachas, eating non-kosher. So therefore, that would not fall into the category to invalidate him as a witness. Meisvei al toshus rasha aid, al toshus chamas aid. Someone who's involved in theft. And monetary things should not be a witness. Elu gazlanim, these are people who are steal. Moalin b'shvuos, the people who make an oath. So my love, echad shvuos shav, echad shvuos mamoin. L'chayra, it should make a difference. If it's shvuos shav, says Rashi, al oimid al even shehu shel Evan, I'm not sure if I'm reading the word right. Shvuos sheker al omid shel Evan shehu shel zahav. So a shvuos shav is you're saying that this stone is actually a stone. It's a waste of shvuah. It's like obviously. A shvuos sheker is you're lying. You're saying that this pillar of stone is actually made out of gold. Avgadalav Rasha the Chamasu, even though you're not a Rasha of stealing, you're still considered to be a Rasha. Lo, idivi edi shvuos mamoin. Both have to do with money. Umay shvuos to alma. So again, maybe it's specifically tied to being postal aidis by money. Meisve al tashus rasha aid al tashus chamas aid el gazlana milu ribios. So tiyufta de abaye tiyufta. So what do we see? It says ribis hani in avu oichan avels lahachas lo mil tiyavon kegazlanim vrab umali beribis damu the misham mammon ka'avid hilkach chashad lemishkol sheichta v'asehudi shikra. So it's interesting. So this is actually a tiyufta on Abaye. Abaye, who said that a mummer oichel nevelos lahachas is possible. It's not true because it's only tied to money, just like mal beribis. So it's a tiyufta. So nema ketanai. So let's say it's a malchukas tanaim. Eid zayim pasal chol tayura kula. David Rameir says that if you're an Eid Zaymim, no matter what the case is that you became an Eid Zaymim for, that's it. You can't testify for anything. Now, if you're mazim on a capital case, which is very severe, then it applies for everything. But if all you did was be a Zaymim saying, oh yeah, this guy owes you $10 and you're a Zaymim for that, you could still testify for Din Nefashis. So name Abaye Karav Meir, the Rabbi Karav Yosi. Abaye Karav Meir, Abaye, who again says Mumarichel Lahachas is puzzle, will be like the sheet of Rav Meir that basically cancels this Eid Zaymim. He can't do anything. He can't testify at all. What do we say? Mikul Chumra. He says from lenient to strict. Says Rashi, Dahainu nami mikul chumra, the oichel nevelos ra l'shmayim. If you're oichel nevelos, you're sinning. Venu ra l'brius, but you're not doing anything wrong to people. Avol meyed sheker b'mamoin, that's by kashrus. Kashrus is not it's attack on God, but not on a person. But meyed sheker b'mamoin ra l'shmayim ra l'brius. You're doing something bad for both sides. Shari mafsidin be'edusoi, you're causing a loss with your testimony. Because pasale Abaye mishum nevelus la'edus moment, and Abaye says that you are pasul in that case. For Rava di'amar Rav Yosi, and Rava will hold like Rav Yosi di'amar mechumra l'kul amrinan l'kul chumra amrinan, that when it comes to dini mamanis, so we say, okay, fine, you're pasul made for dini mamas, not for dini nefashos, right? But on the other hand, if it was dini nefashos, then it will also apply for dini mamas. Says Rashi, Kaloimer Abaye vadilav Rav Yosi matzal ukmul amilsta. The kivanim Rav Yosi mamon nefashos l'mifsol. V'afal gavda mamoin havi rala shemayim rala bria. So koshkein the menavel mamoin l'afsol. Okay. So makul chomro amina so lo. According to the sheet of Rav Yosi, no one is going to argue. In other words, there has to be a machlokes tanoim. According to Rav Yosi, Rav Yosi is going to have to fit into the shita of Rava, and basically, Abaye cannot fit into like the shita of Rav Yosi, because Rav Yosi again says that when you're mazim for one, it's not mazim for the other. But when it comes to the shita of, that's Rav Yosi. But when it comes to the shita of Rav Meir, second, that was Rav Yosi. So that's what Rav Yosi says. So Rav Yosi certainly will hold like Rava, and Abaye cannot hold like him, because Abaye says you're pasul for everything, but over here he says you're not pasul for everything. Well, it's true that Rabbi Yosi komo pligi, keep pligi lit Rav Meir. Abaye Rav Meir, as we said, Abaye will hold like the shita of Rav Meir. Rav Meir says that once you're pasul for one thing, it pasels for everything, and that's what Rav Meir says. And Abaye also says you're pasul once the murmul hachas for one thing, it pasels for everything. You're pasul edus. Rava ad kan lo kam Rav Meir hasam ela gabe ed zaymim. Maybe the only time Rav Meir says is din that it pasels everything is by ed zaymim. The mamoin the rala shmaim rala brius. Because when it comes to money, not only you're sinning against God, but you're also sinning against people. By oichel nevelis, the rala shemayim, which has to do with kashrus, it's only rala shemayim and rala brios. Well, maybe he won't hold like that. That is pasul. So in second, we just mentioned before that Abaye, there was tiyufta the Abaye tiyufta, and now we're saying the halacha is like Abaye, which of course as we say, hilchas like Abaye b'yal kegam. In the mem, we hold like Abaye, which is interesting. We had a tiyufta. Now he Rav Yosi that's Rav Yosi. But the Hami Nami Rav Yosi Rav Meir Rav Yosi halacha Rav Yosi. Why do we say we generally hold like Rav the Shita Rav Yosi? No Shani Hasam the Stam Montana Rav Meir. We have a Stam Mishnah like Rav Meir. Vehechet Stam one. Where do we have a Stam Mishnah like Rav Meir? Kihad Devar Chama Kotol Nafsha, killed. Armulei Reish Galusa Rav Abba Bar Yaakov Puk Ayinba. Go and look into this matter. Ivade Kotol. If he definitely killed him, then Lichiyu Hoy Le'ene. Then literally poke out his eyes. Look at Rashi. Rav Yosi Hidi Aimer Mekulsa L'chum Deloi V'Yechidahu. So Yenakras Einav. What does that mean? The batul misas based in. There was no basis based in. V'hai kanasa ka'avdinan bay. There was a kanas. Makin v'oinshin shalom in a taira. V'yeshaimrim yitul mamayno v'yidnul yarshin. Take money and give it to the yarshim. V'yeshaimrim shamta. Maybe put him at the chayrim. Anyway, so what exactly that meant, because there was no more misas based in, and maybe it was a kanas. Okay, so also Trey Sahadi, two witnesses came. Asahidu Bey Devade Kotel, that he did it on purpose. Ozil Ihu, he came, and Isu Trei Sahadi, he brought two witnesses, Asihidu Be Bechad Mehanach. Chad Oimer Kamoy Didi Ganav. In front of me it was stolen. Kaba de Chulsha, some peeled barley. Chad Oimer Kamoy Didi Ganav, and in front of me it was stolen. As we continue to Chav Zayin Mabez, a Keta de Burta, a handle of a spear, says Rashi, a bias base yad shel roimach. Armulei my daitach. What are you trying to say? Like Rameir, says Rashi, the kivon the chashidia mama and chashidia edus nafashis, that we see that they're already puzzle when it comes to 80 mominus, so they should be puzzle, and they can't testify in the case of dini nafashis. Rameir Rav Yosi, Aloch Rav Yosi. We hold like Rav Yosi. Rav Yosi, the Haimer, who's the dini mominus, kasha dini nafashis. So even if you do show me that they're apostle, because when it came to dini mominus, they can still testify for dini nefashos. Amur papi hani mili. That's only heichadolei saw someone tanik Rameir. That's if there's no stam like Rameir. Hacha stam one tanik Rameir. Memai ilay memahadit nan. So where is this? Ilay madit nan kol harei lidin dini nefashos harei lidin dini mominus. It says anyone who can judge dini nefashos can do dini mominus. Mani ilay Rav Yosi he ha'ika eid zaymim. And it's not true, because by an eid zaymin, the moment the kasha dini nefashos or possibly dini nefashos, no dini mominus. And eid zaymin, according to Shitas Rav Yosi, holds that you're possible dini mominus, even though you're kasha dini nefashos. Allah Rameir, it must be like the Shita Rameir, and therefore we see taka stam like him. Umamai dilma bepsula yuchsin koi. Maybe we're only talking about psula yuchsin. Look at Rashi. Could go in ger or mamzer. We're just saying that they can judge upsula din nefashos. They can't do din nefashos, but they can do din mominus. That's what he's talking about. The ilu temahachi. If you don't say that, so it's safer diktani yesh royal din mominus and royal din nefashos. It says there are those who could judge monetary cases, but not capital cases. Am I in a roy? What does that mean? Not fit. The itzum b'din nefashos. Maybe you're telling me what happened. He became a zaymein because of din nefashos. Therefore, because of that, he's not fit to anymore judge through din nefashos cases. He was a zaymein. So royal adun din mominus. So how could he then be fit to do din mominus? If he was already canceled as an eid zaymein from din nefashos, then kol shekain he shouldn't be able to judge din mominus. So v'ha divya koil paiselhu el b'psul yuchsin koi. Here, all we're talking about again is a ger or a mamzer, that they're kosher to judge dini mominus, but they're possible to judge dini nefashos. They didn't do anything wrong, but a ger cannot do dini nefashos. We allow them to do dini mominus. El hacha kastamlon. Maybe it's the following mishnah like Rameir. Tana denan. Elohein apsulin the masach mekuvim le'meribis mafrichin yoinim v'seichei shvius. This is a quote from Rosh Hashanah, because these are all people who are apostles, including slaves. Zaklal. And we say Zaklal. This is the general rule. Kol edish in ha'isha ksher law. Any edus that a woman cannot do, avhein in ksher law. So can't they. So mani ilim Rav Yosi ve'ika edus b'din nefashos. How about the case of din nefashos? Shein isha ksher law. A woman can't do din nefashos. Ve'hein ksher law, but they're kosher because we said that they're only suspect on dini mominus. And if you're suspect on dini mominus, maybe you could still do dini nefashos. So how could you tell me that these people are like a woman, because a woman can't do dini nefashos? Elav Rameir, it must be like the sheet of Rameir. That shows that once you're suspect on dini mominus, that's it for dini nefashos too. So kam bar chama. Nashki Akari, he kissed him on his ankles, the Kabul with Kargi the Kuli Shaita, and he paid his taxes for the entire year, which I think a lot of them didn't have to pay taxes anyway, but so he was very impressed that he came up with the Stam Mishnah, which happens to be the Mishnah, almost the Mishnah that we learned not too long ago, but it's more, the safe over here is found in Rosh Hashanah. Okay, we're going to stop there because we have a new Mishnah, and we'll see that new piece then. Let's see a couple questions. Okay, question 13. Eid Zayim Rabbi Omer Mekan Labah who nifsal my time in the Rabba. So Rabba and my nafkim in ben atamim. Either the reason why it's Mekan Labah because it's a chiddush, or because of Sedel Kuchais. And the nafkamina is if it's Trei L'chad, Trei B'chad, therefore there's no chiddush, but it's Sedel Kuchais. Or they became puzzle from Gazela. So there's no chiddush over here, but there's still an issue of Sedel Kuchais. Question 14. Mihu Sharoy Ladon Dini Mominus, the Inroy Lidon Dini Nefashis. Who could judge Dini Mominus but not Dini Nefashis? So Psul Yuchsin could go in Gero Mamzer. So that we end up saying, but also there is an opinion, also someone who is puzzle for Dini Mominus is kosher of Dini Nefashis. But L'Kuli Alma, someone who's Psuli Yuchsin, that is the din. Okay, let's look at question TA7. Mahim shnei hatamim ma'diamer eid zayim mekan albahu so ma'nafkim ben hatamim. So this is a pretty famous question, so we're going to get that question a lot. That's TA6. So it's the same question that we just had, so no need to repeat it. Okay, that's it for that test. TB7. Mihu Sharoy Ladun Din Mamas Vanuroy Ladun Din in the Fashis. So this is Chav Zayin Amud Beis, which we already had, which is question 14. TB7. And I wrote Psuli Yuchsin Kamo Gerim Umam Zerim. Adkan.